One of the most extraordinary sights in the world. And she was able to recognize it. It wasn't fashionable to think about how the East and Eastern ideas influenced the West. I think her work at Tarsus helped tremendously.
Antiochus enjoyed a fair time of peace and a time of tranquility, and all during these years he was devoted to build this monument. He trying to find a place for himself among the gods of the time, Zeus, Heracles, and at the same time to find a burial place for himself.
Commagene as a kingdom was extremely powerful and built its power on the control of the trade routes, so that anyone passing through with goods would have to pay a certain tariff to the king. And with time, it became one of the wealthiest self-contained kingdoms in eastern Turkey.
Theresa Goell coming meant work for 50 or even 100 men up on the mountain. The work was very well organized, and she was a diplomat insofar as she knew she had to take workers from every village nearby, so that the wealth being poured into the country by the wages paid was spread evenly.
My uncle, and in my village about nearly 100 people, they're working with Theresa, and in other 4 or 5 villages also, for each village nearly 20-30 people working with Theresa.
She was thinking on all different levels, not only of what had to be done in the archaeological sense, but also in the human sense of the people who worked with her and were so devoted to her.
She had a suitcase, I saw it later, in her New York flat, in which she accumulated all sorts of useful medicine, nothing fancy, things which she herself, as a layman, could apply without running any risk. The nearest doctor was miles away, and you can't take a sick child 3 days on a horseback or muleback to the nearest doctor. She was surrounded with a whole entourage of women of talking to her and asking her questions, and she gave advice to them. And I'm quite sure she also told them how to avoid getting more children.
You realize how many lives were touched by the fact that she was willing to give them birth control, she was willing to give them an aspirin, she was willing to hear them complain or whatever.
The excavations at Nemrud Dhag have led to today's tourism industry in that area. Local people have a little cottage industry going, and this changes everything. And it also opens their eyes to a whole other world. And it's entirely the result of Theresa's work at Nemrud Dhag. Of all the places that people want to go and see when they come to Turkey, that's almost number one once they get out of Istanbul. They said, I want to go to the place with the big heads. I want to go there.